We humans like to think we're so smart, right? We built rockets to the moon, computers that fit in our pockets, we're basically wizards. But what about the most complex structure in the known universe? That's right, the 3 pounds of goo we carry around in our skulls. Your brain, my friends, is up to some seriously weird and wonderful things, without you even knowing. What if I told you your brain could wake you up without an alarm clock? Or predict danger before you even see it? These aren't sci-fi ideas, they're real things your body does every day, driven by the powerhouse between your ears. We're about to take a deep dive into the fascinating, sometimes bizarre world of your own biology. Get ready to be amazed because here are 10 weird but true facts about your brain and body. And I guarantee number 7 will change how you think about thinking forever. Ever wake up minutes before your alarm clock feeling inexplicably alert? No, it's not some spooky sixth sense, it's pure evolutionary biology at work. You see, your body is a finely tuned machine, and I mean, it operates on a 24-hour cycle called the circadian rhythm, an internal clock that regulates everything from sleep to hormone release. Now, as you approach your usual wake-up time, even before that annoying alarm starts blaring, your brain's already on the case. It starts secreting a cocktail of hormones, with cortisol being the star of the show. Cortisol is often called the stress hormone, but don't let that fool you. It plays a vital role in waking you up, increasing your alertness, and getting you ready to face the day. Think of it like this, your brain's giving you a gentle nudge saying, hey, time to rise and shine, sleepyhead. So the next time you wake up feeling refreshed and energized before your alarm even has a chance to go off, thank your internal timekeeper and that surge of cortisol. We humans, we love to overthink, stuck in a loop analyzing every possible outcome. Yeah, we've all been there. But what if I told you there's a simple, scientifically backed trick to short-circuit that overthinking spiral? Enter the 3-second rule. No, this has nothing to do with food on the floor. This rule is all about rewiring your brain to make decisions faster and more efficiently. Here's how it works. When faced with a decision, give yourself a countdown. 3, 2, 1, and then just do it. Sounds almost too easy, right? But here's the science behind it. Overthinking often stems from fear. Fear of making the wrong choice, fear of failure, fear of the unknown. This fear triggers our fight or flight response, sending us into a spiral of analysis paralysis. The 3-second rule hacks this system. By acting quickly, you essentially sidestep the fear response before it can take hold. So, whether you're struggling to hit the send button on an important email or debating whether to try that new restaurant, remember the 3-second rule. You're drifting off to sleep, feeling all warm and fuzzy when suddenly, BAM! Your leg jerks, your arm spasms, and you're wide awake, heart pounding like you just ran a marathon. Sound familiar? Well, you've just experienced a hypnic jerk, also known as a sleep start. These involuntary muscle twitches are incredibly common, affecting about 70% of people. But why, oh why, does our brain think it's a good idea to give us mini heart attacks right when we're trying to catch some Z's? Well, scientists believe it has to do with the transition from wakefulness to sleep. As you're drifting off, your muscles naturally relax. But sometimes, your ever-vigilant brain misinterprets this relaxation as a sign that you're actually falling. And what do we do when we're falling? Right, our survival instincts kick in, triggering a reflex to jolt us back to safety. So, next time you experience a hypnic jerk, don't panic. Just chuckle to yourself about your brain's overzealous safety protocols and drift back to sleep. Ever closed your eyes, pictured biting into a juicy lemon, and practically tasted its tartness? That's not just your imagination running wild, it's your brain blurring the lines between reality and fantasy. You see, our brains are incredible simulators. They can conjure up experiences so vivid, so real, that they fire up the same neural pathways as the actual event. Brain imaging studies have shown this phenomenon in action. When people imagine performing an action, like playing the piano or throwing a ball, the areas of their brain responsible for those movements light up, just as they would if they were actually doing it. This mind-bending ability has profound implications. Athletes use visualization techniques to improve their performance, imagining themselves executing perfect moves, which helps strengthen their neural pathways for those actions. But it goes beyond physical skills. Imagination can also influence our emotions and even our physical well-being. Visualizing a calming scene can help reduce stress and anxiety, while imagining a positive outcome can boost confidence and motivation. So, the next time you catch yourself daydreaming, don't dismiss it as mere fantasy. Embrace the power of your imagination. Ever feel like you've shrunk throughout the day? It's not your imagination. You actually are a tiny bit taller in the morning. No, it's not magic, it's basic biomechanics. The secret lies in those spongy discs that cushion the vertebrae in your spine. Think of these discs like little water balloons. Throughout the day, as you stand, walk, and move around, Gravity compresses the discs, squeezing out some of the fluid. This causes your spine to shorten slightly, making you a tad shorter by day's end. But here's the cool part. When you lie down at night, the pressure on your spine eases, and those hard-working discs get to rehydrate like thirsty sponges soaking up water. This rehydration process allows your spine to decompress and regain its full length, making you taller when you wake up. Now, before you start measuring yourself against the door frame every hour, the difference in height isn't dramatic. We're talking about a centimeter or two at most. So the next time you're feeling a bit vertically challenged, just remember, you're at your tallest and most majestic self, first thing in the morning. Ever get that creepy feeling that someone's watching you even though you can't see anyone? It's not paranoia. It's your amazing, highly attuned sensory system at work. You see, our brains are constantly processing information from our surroundings, even when we're not consciously aware of it. Our visual system, in particular, is incredibly sensitive to movement and patterns. Even in our peripheral vision, we can pick up subtle cues that indicate something or someone is present. It's a holdover from our evolutionary past, where being aware of potential threats in our surroundings was crucial for survival. But here's where it gets really interesting. Studies have shown that our bodies actually react physiologically when we sense we're being watched. Our heart rate might increase slightly, our skin conductance might change, and we might even start sweating a little. These subconscious reactions serve as an early warning system, preparing our bodies to react if the perceived threat turns out to be real. Now, this doesn't mean that every time you feel someone's gaze, you're in danger. But the next time you get that eerie feeling of being watched, don't brush it off as just your imagination. We often think of memories as permanent recordings of the past, like files stored in a filing cabinet. But the truth is far more fluid and, dare I say, unsettling. Every time you recall a memory, you're not just passively accessing it, you're actively reconstructing it. Imagine it like this. Instead of pulling out a pristine file, you're piecing together a puzzle, and some pieces might be missing or faded. So, your brain fills in the gaps with assumptions, current emotions, and even information from other memories. This process of reconsolidation, as it's called, means that memories are surprisingly malleable. Each time you revisit a memory, it's subject to subtle alterations, influenced by your current state of mind, biases, and even suggestions from others. This might sound alarming, but it's actually a crucial part of how our brains learn and adapt. By updating memories with new information and perspectives, we can refine our understanding of the world and make better decisions in the future. However, this also means that our memories aren't always reliable. So the next time you're reminiscing about the past, remember that you're not just accessing a static recording. Standing in front of a crowd, the spotlight burning bright, your heart pounding like a drum solo, it's the dreaded public speaking jitters. But why does our body react as if we're facing a charging rhino when we're just trying to deliver a presentation? The answer lies in our ancient survival mechanisms. You see, our brains haven't quite caught up to the modern world. They still interpret situations that put us in the spotlight as potential threats to our social standing, which, in our evolutionary past, was crucial for survival. When we're in front of a group, our brains perceive the situation as a performance, a judgment of our worthiness. This triggers our fight or flight response, flooding our bodies with adrenaline and cortisol, preparing us to either fight off the perceived threat or make a hasty retreat. The good news is that with practice and preparation, we can learn to manage these public speaking jitters. So the next time you feel that familiar surge of stage fright, remember, it's just your ancient brain trying to keep you safe. Ever walked into a room with a clear purpose only to completely forget why you were there? You stand there, feeling like a deer in headlights, desperately trying to retrace your mental steps. Don't worry, you're not alone. This common phenomenon, known as the doorway effect, is a fascinating quirk of our spatial memory. Our brains, those incredible but sometimes frustrating organs, organize information into distinct episodes or mental compartments associated with specific locations. Think of it like your brain creating a new folder on your desktop every time you enter a new environment. When you walk through a doorway, it's as if your brain closes the current folder, storing the information you were just processing and opening a new, blank one for the new location. This transition can sometimes cause a temporary disruption in our short-term memory, making us forget what we were thinking or doing just moments before. While the doorway effect might be frustrating, it's a testament to the incredible way our brains constantly update and adapt to our surroundings. So the next time you find yourself standing in a room, wondering why you went there, don't panic. We've all been there, waking up from a bizarre, vivid dream, feeling like we just starred in our own personal movie. But as the day goes on, the memory of that dream starts to fade, like a Polaroid picture left out in the sun. By evening it's gone, leaving behind only a wisp of emotion or a vague sense of the bizarre. Why is it that our dreams, often so vivid and emotionally charged, vanish so quickly from our conscious grasp? The answer lies in the complex interplay of brain regions involved in memory formation and dream sleep. During REM sleep, the stage when we experience our most vivid dreams, our brains are buzzing with activity, but there's a catch. The hippocampus, the brain region responsible for transferring information from short-term to long-term memory, is surprisingly inactive during REM sleep. Without the hippocampus to consolidate and store those dream images and narratives, they quickly evaporate from our conscious memory. However, this doesn't mean that all dreams are lost forever. Some fragments, especially those associated with strong emotions or recurring themes, can linger in our subconscious, influencing our thoughts and feelings even if we don't consciously remember them. So, there you have it. 10 mind-blowing truths about your brain and body that prove we're all walking, talking mysteries. Who knew our own biology could be so much stranger than fiction? And the truth is, we're just scratching the surface of what there is to learn about these complex systems. Which fact blew your mind the most? Was it the memory-bending nature of the doorway effect? Or maybe the realization that your brain doesn't differentiate between a daydream and reality? Tell us in the comments, because honestly, I'm dying to know. And if you want more bite-sized truths about your body and brain, the weird, the wonderful, and the downright unbelievable, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow for weekly episodes. Trust me, you won't want to miss what we uncover next.